A great DIY idea to turn a Christmas cast-off into a total treasure. And she's back today with another round of great enhancements. This is for, those less exciting gifts like a run-of-the-mill toque. So here's your chance to jazz it up, and I'm going to show you what you need for this project before we get into it. You need pearl embellishments, a needle and thread, toque and glove set, and a pair of scissors. All right, Mo, let's go. How do we start?
Yes, so for this, it's traditional. You're bound to get winter accessories for the holidays. So yes, as you mentioned, Tracy, this is a great way to personalize it, make it a little bit more special to you. So I have a plaid toque here. I chose to go with one that's solid, not necessarily one that is has a knit or a cable knit, for example, because this actually makes it easy for your first step, which is laying out your beads. So I went to my local craft store. I got some beads. You can actually find those in the jewelry making area. And I selected the colors of the beads that I wanted. And so I wanted to use beads that are complementary, of course, to my hat. So I have my pink hat. I have some pink beads here. So what I'm doing is I'm laying them out. You don't actually have to have them in a way where they're like in a straight line or anything of that nature. You could have them randomized, and I'm doing something that I do with a lot of my DIYs is laying things out first so you can kind of see what the spacing is looking like. So I have multiple colors of beads, so I'm just going to space them out like so, and then I play around, see where I like them to lay, take a step back, and then once they're laid out the way that I like it, then a tip, use your phone. So you use your phone and you take a picture of how it's laid out. And this is to help you when you start sewing on those beads. And so I got started. So this is kind of how it looks as you start sewing them on. And you just take your thread, and I suggest using a thread that is a similar color to the hat that you're using, because then it makes it easier for those beads to blend in.
Well, I guess now would be a good time for folks to refer back to the photo you took, because now you can see the way you laid it out, and you can make sure you're on track for getting that same design when you sew them on, right?
Exactly, exactly. You sew your bead on, you have a look, you take a look at your photo, and then you keep on going. And then once you have your bead sewed on, you just tie it at the back. So you can either tie it off and cut and continue along, or you can keep sewing. But what I find with that method, if you decide to keep sewing, like for example, you sew one bead, you just keep on going, and then you sew another one, there's gonna be that zigzaggy inside the hat. It doesn't look very cute, and then it can snag on your hair, so I think it's better. I know it's on the inside, but that's just, just something about me. I think it's better just to cut and then start over again.
So good, Mo. So you have some other gifts you have to revamp, and they are socks. I love a good pair of cozy socks to lounge in. I love my loungewear. So here's what you need to jazz up those gifted socks. Some red felt, or your color of choice, a sheet of cardstock, paper, pencil, scissors, a needle and thread, and of course, your pair of thick socks.
I love these socks, and Trace, I know you're gonna love these too, because these are the long, loungy socks that you could just throw on. They're also called reading socks, but these are super comfortable. And this is also a way to jazz these ones up. So I got these ones. These are fun little unicorn ones. That's the crafty side of me. And so I added felt hearts to them. So I have my thick sock here, and we're taking it back to elementary school. So you have your cardstock paper, right? Go ahead and fold that in half and trace. I use hearts, so I'm tracing half of my heart template, and then I go ahead and just cut it out. And there you have your handy dandy heart. Then you take your felt, you'll have your sheet of felt, but then you also fold that over because you have two pairs of socks, so you're gonna need two hearts.
Right.
So you go ahead and then lay your template out like so, and then you cut it out. Then you're gonna take your needle and your thread. And for this, I opted to go with the white because I wanted to get that contrasty look. If you don't wanna be fussed and you wanna kind of have it blended, feel free to choose a color thread that you like. And then you position your heart here. I've done it above my heel on the sock. And then you just stitch it through. Because these are thick socks, you actually don't have to go right through. You can even just go through just like that top layer of that knit, and then just keep on going all the way around, and then you have your socks. I did these ones on the ankles, and then you're good to go. So these are fun ways. Like, here's my toque. I also did gloves to match.
Cute.
So again, same method, sewing them on, and you are good to go. A great way to personalize your not so fancy gifts.
I think it's great, and I think, you know, most of our viewers can relate. We've gotten with the hat and the socks, and now we have a way to make them super fashionable. Thank you, Mo. So simple. Love your ideas always. Great DIY.